Hey everyone, and welcome back to our Story Corner. Today, we're diving into a classic tale that many of you might have heard before, but we're going to explore it in a way you never have. It's the story of the tortoise and the hare. Now, deep in a lush green forest, bustling with life, lived a hare. This wasn't just any hare, he was the fastest creature around. And boy, did he know it. He would spend his days zipping from one end of the forest to the other, a blur of white fur against the green leaves. Look at me, he'd boast to anyone who would listen. I'm the fastest, no one can beat me. He'd leap over logs, dash through fields of flowers, and always make sure everyone saw him doing it. Among the many animals in the forest was a tortoise. The tortoise was the hare's complete opposite. He moved slowly, deliberately, carrying his heavy shell on his back. Every step was a careful, measured movement. The hare found this incredibly amusing. Whenever he saw the tortoise, he'd stop his sprinting just to laugh. "Hey, slowpoke," he'd taunt. "Are you even moving? At this rate, you'll take a whole day just to cross this meadow." The other animals would sometimes chuckle, but mostly they felt a bit sorry for the tortoise, who simply ignored the hare's jibes and continued on his way, one steady step at a time. The tortoise, though quiet and patient, had a strong spirit. He grew tired of the hare's constant bragging and mockery. It wasn't just about being made fun of. It was about the hare's disrespect for everyone else. So one sunny afternoon, as the hare was showing off to a group of squirrels, the tortoise decided he'd had enough. He slowly made his way over, looked the hare right in the eye, and in his calm, deep voice said, "Hare, you may be fast, but speed isn't everything. I challenge you to a race." A hush fell over the forest clearing. The squirrels stopped chattering. A nearby deer looked up from its grazing, and even the birds seemed to quiet down. Then the hare burst out laughing. It was a loud, booming laugh that echoed through the trees. You challenge me to a race," he howled, wiping tears of laughter from his eyes. "That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. You, the slowest creature in the entire forest, want to race me, the fastest. Fine, I accept. This will be the easiest win of my life." The news of the race spread like wildfire. On the day of the event, animals from all over the forest gathered to watch. A wise old owl was chosen as the judge, and a long path stretching from one side of the forest to the other was marked as the racetrack. The finish line was a big ancient oak tree on a distant hill. The hare was prancing at the starting line, stretching his long legs, winking at the crowd. The tortoise, on the other hand, was calm and composed, standing quietly at his starting position. The owl hooted, "On your marks, get set, go." And just like that, they were off. The hare shot forward like an arrow from a bow. He was a streak of lightning, kicking up dust behind him. Within moments, he was so far ahead that he was just a tiny dot in the distance. He looked back over his shoulder. He could barely even see the starting line anymore. and the tortoise. The tortoise looked like a small, stationary pebble. The hare chuckled to himself. "This is even easier than I thought," he mused. "I could run this race 100 times before he even gets halfway." He continued to run for a while longer, putting even more distance between himself and the tortoise. The sun was warm, the birds were singing, and the path wound through a beautiful, shady part of the forest. The hare started to feel a little bored. "There's no challenge in this," he thought. "No fun at all." He saw a particularly inviting patch of soft, green grass under a large, shady tree. "You know what?" he said to himself. "I've got all the time in the world. The tortoise is so slow, I could take a nice long nap and still wake up and beat him easily." Convinced of his own superiority, the hare stretched out on the grass, yawned, and in no time at all he was fast asleep, dreaming of his glorious victory. Meanwhile, back on the track, the tortoise was doing what he did best, moving forward. One step, then another, and another. He didn't look up. He didn't look around. He just kept his eyes on the path ahead. He saw the hare's footprints in the dust, a clear sign of how far ahead his competitor was. But he wasn't discouraged. He knew his own pace. He wasn't trying to be the hare. He was just trying to be the best tortoise he could be. The sun beat down, and the path seemed to stretch on forever, but he never stopped. Slowly, steadily, he just kept going. Hours passed. The sun began to dip lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the forest floor. The tortoise plodded on past the field of flowers where the hare had often shown off. He passed the babbling brook. And then, up ahead, he saw a familiar shape under a tree. It was the hare, curled up and sleeping soundly, a little snore escaping his twitching nose. The tortoise didn't stop to gloat. He didn't make a sound. He simply continued on his path, step by steady step, passing the sleeping champion without a second glance. The finish line, the grand old oak tree, was now in sight. It was still far, but it was there. For the tortoise, seeing the gold gave him a new wave of determination. His legs were tired, his shell felt heavier than ever, but he kept his focus. He remembered the hare's laughter, the taunts, and his own quiet promise to himself. Step after step, the oak tree got closer and closer. The crowd of animals gathered at the finish line began to stir. They couldn't believe their eyes. It wasn't the hare they saw approaching, it was the tortoise. A quiet murmur turned into a buzz of excitement. Suddenly, the hare woke up with a jolt. The sun was much lower, and the air was cooler. He sat up, stretched, and looked back down the path. "All right, time to finish this," he said with a grin. He expected to see the tortoise crawling along somewhere in the far distance, but there was no one. He looked again, squinting his eyes. The path behind him was empty. A flicker of panic entered his mind. He turned his head and looked towards the finish line, and then he saw it. A small, dark shape, impossibly close to the ancient oak tree. It was the tortoise. A wave of adrenaline and shame washed over the hare. "No, it can't be it," he yelled. He leaped to his feet and began to run, faster than he had ever run before. His legs pumped like pistons. The wind whistled past his ears. He was a blur of motion, a desperate dash to reclaim his pride. The crowd at the finish line was now cheering loudly, but they weren't cheering for him. They were cheering for the tortoise, who was just inches away from the finish line. The hare gave it everything he had, pushing himself to the absolute limit. But it was too late. Just as he was about to lunge across the line, the tortoise took his final, steady step and touched the trunk of the old oak tree. He had won. The forest erupted in cheers. The tortoise was lifted onto the shoulders of the badgers and bears, hailed as a hero. The hare skidded to a stop, panting, his head hung low. He couldn't look anyone in the eye. He had been so sure of his victory, so arrogant in his speed, and he had lost. He had been defeated by the slowest animal he knew. The tortoise, ever calm and graceful, was gently set down. He walked over to the ashamed hare. The hare expected more taunts, more laughter. But the tortoise simply looked at him and said, in his quiet, wise voice, "Slow and steady wins the race." And in that moment, the hare understood. It wasn't about being the fastest or the most talented. It was about consistency, perseverance, and not underestimating others. True victory comes from giving your best, never giving up, and respecting the journey, not just rushing to the destination. It's a lesson that the hare and all the animals of the forest would never forget. What an incredible story, right? It just goes to show that persistence can be more powerful than raw talent. Thank you so much for joining me today for this timeless fable. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that make you think. We'll see you in the next one.